Hey Madden Bible Nation, welcome to the Madden Show number 2. We're going to get right back into it. We're going to have a lot quicker show today than we did yesterday. Yesterday was more of a housekeeping situation where we talk a little bit more about what we're actually going to be doing throughout this year in this Madden 11 season. The season is young. Unfortunately, I'm getting older by the day. Now let's get right into it. Randy Moss versus Calvin Johnson in our player versus player breakdown. Now, to take a look at that comparison right away, the first thing you're going to think of is, well, obviously Randy Moss. He's one of the most prolific, deep threats the game has ever seen. I mean, I'm talking inside and out of Madden. He is at least a top 5 weapon of all time in Madden. Calvin Johnson has been coming on of late. He may be taking the torch this year, as Randy Moss might be passing it along to Calvin Johnson. So a couple things to compare here. Randy Moss comes in at a 95 overall with 96 speed. He's going to have a 99 jump. Now, 99 jump is really important, especially when you have the height that Moss has. 6'4" with 99 jump means that he's going to out jump. He's going to go up and get those deep balls. The shorter DBs are really going to have a tough time to defend him. That's when guys like Antonio Cromartie are going to really be important to have on your defensive secondary, because the guys like him that are the only ones that really will be able to compete for a jump ball with a Randy Moss. Some other notable ratings for Randy Moss: 99 spectacular catch. Now, that's a very, very interesting rating, because we don't really know at this point in the season. It's only the first day that Madden's out. It's still Madden holiday, and we don't know to what extent spectacular catch is going to have in this year's game. And if it is anything like it was in Madden 08, it is going to change the entire landscape of the Madden community. And it's just one of those ratings that if it is effective again in this year, you're going to be looking at different teams. You're going to be looking at different guys as your standout guys. You're no longer going to be looking at catching traffic as maybe the primary point of interest for a wide receiver. So if spectacular catch is important again this year, Randy Moss and Tom Brady are going to be a great duo. Next, you have 84 acceleration. I want to talk about that because that's bad. Randy Moss is getting older. He is losing a step. His breakaway speed is still there, but unfortunately, he's got to get up on his giddy up. He's got to get up on his horse. He's got to, got to win a triple crown or something. I mean, that 84 acceleration is just not going to get it done. He's going to get slow off the line. He's might not be able to separate a lot. That could cause problems. It really could. Our last 2 ratings for Moss: 94 agility. That's more than adequate. 82 catching traffic. I would like to see it higher, but for the type of receiver that Moss really is, he's not really a rocket catch type. He's not really a bang him and hang him over the middle type receiver. It's not something that you really want to do with Randy Moss. Now, Calvin Johnson, 91 overall, so right away we see he's 4 points lower than Randy Moss overall. We go to speed: 95 speed to Moss's 96. That's for the most part comparable. 99 spectacular 99 jump for Calvin Johnson. He's right up there with Randy Moss. I mean, he's going to go up and get those balls just like Moss. Another thing to look at with Calvin Johnson: 97 spectacular catch. Again, he is very adequate to Moss. He's actually an inch taller. So that extra inch pays big dividends in terms of Madden. In the actual NFL, not so much. Next, we are going to look at maybe the most important difference between Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss. Calvin Johnson has 94 acceleration to Randy Moss's 84 acceleration. Those 10 points are the biggest difference in the world. That's a make or break rating for these 2 players. Our last rating for Calvin Johnson is an 88 catch in traffic. Now again, 88 is a solid rating for catching traffic, but again, Calvin Johnson, not really our go up and get him type guy. We're not looking to use him in the middle of the field to go for rocket catches over the middle of the field. So Calvin Johnson, 88, will take it. So if I had to pick Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, last 2 players on my depth chart, I have to pick one. I'm a hometown favorite. Randy Moss does play for my New England Patriots. Read it and weep. You know, real quick. New England Patriots, just saying, 13-3 this year, win the division, home field advantage, win the Super Bowl. You heard me. Gonna beat the Vikings in the Super Bowl, no questions asked. Tom Brady, GOAT, greatest of all time. Anyways, back to the decision of the day. Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson. I'm gonna have to go with my boy, hometown favorite, Calvin Johnson. Might be a shocker, but it's time Randy Moss passes the torch along to Calvin Johnson. Next segment, right into it. We're going to go into our user, cut, and computer segment. Now, this is one of my favorites. You all know I really love this segment. So, the three players we will be comparing today are strong safety from the New York Football Giants, Kenny Phillips. Now, Kenny Phillips actually had a big-time injury last year. He was held out for most of the year, so it really kind of digressed in terms of his Madden ability this year, but he still is a solid player. He comes in at 78 overall, 90 speed, 65 catch, 48 play recognition, 86 hit power. Good numbers, real good numbers. Next, we have strong safety from the San Francisco 49ers, Taylor Mays. 71 overall, 95 speed. Oh my God. He's got so many wiggle sticks, it's ridiculous. Next, 48 catch. That's bad. I mean, you could throw beanbags at him all day and he's not catching anything. Maybe worse than his beanbag hands, 45 play recognition. He does, again, another guy that doesn't know he's on the field. Literally doesn't know he's out there playing. But what he can do, he can lay the hammer. He can lay the hammer. 91 hit power. I'm talking Hit Stick City. We're going to Hit Stick City in the USA all day. Next on my list, I have free safety from the Jacksonville Jaguars from Florida University, Reggie Nelson. 77 overall, 93 speed, 73 catch, 73 play recognition, and a 73 hit power. Do you see a sequence of events here? Because I do. So, I have to make a decision. I'm going to user Taylor Mays. I think that's the obvious decision. Now, my dilemma here in my cut versus computer is that if I leave Kenny Phillips in, I have another guy with 86 hit power, so that gives me a nice big target on the field to help in the run game. Reggie Nelson, on the other hand, 93 speed, 73 catch. But he does have that 73 play recognition. Alright, so I'm going to cut Kenny Phillips and I'm going to computer Reggie Nelson. So there you have it. We have a user Taylor Mays, a computer Reggie Nelson, and a cut of Kenny Phillips. Guys, more than welcome. Comment on this. Tell me why I'm crazy, because I already know I'm crazy. But I want to see why you can tell me I'm crazy, and tell me why I should have picked Kenny Phillips. I want to hear it. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So, again, put it out there at MaddenBible.com. You can leave a comment when this video is posted. Leave it in the section. Message us on Twitter at Sgibs7, at Madden Bible. Send it on our forums. We want to hear from you. Next segment is our around the Madden community, the Madden news. And really today I want to highlight on just one aspect of the Madden community. And what I'm going to talk about today is www.competeforever.com. This is a league that is run by one of the most standout and gentleman, actual man that I know in the Madden community, Coach K. He has put together this site. He's done a lot of hard work. He runs leagues at both NCAA. He runs Madden for both PS3, 360. He's got a great group of guys that are very passionate about the game. Ultimately, that's what we're all looking for. Is we're all looking for that passion, because we all know that inside we all have that passion. We all have that burning desire. We want to play this game. We want to enjoy it. We want to have a good group of guys. If there's one thing that I can say that you should do this Madden 11 season, I fully endorse and recommend that you go and play in Coach K's league. Again, if you want to participate, you can either contact me. I'll send you right along, absolutely. Or go there for yourself. Check it out. See what it's all about. See what the buzz is about. I mean, it's www.competeforever.com. Very importantly, the 4 in Compete Forever is actually the number 4. So it's compete, the number 4, ever.com. If you're looking to follow Coach K, he's on Twitter. He's at K, the number 0, finishing off Coach K. Might be confusing. I'm actually kind of confused by myself saying that. But let's get right into our last segment here. It's been a quick show, but we'll get right back into it here. I'll go to my handy-dandy, trusty Paw Socks mailbag hat, and let's see. Our first mailbag is going to be from foreign member Fannin. Fannin asks, what's the best defensive play for the play-action waggle as well as halfback screens? Well, let's first tackle the play-action waggle for you, Fannin. You're really going to want to focus on bringing A-gap pressure, because if they're under center and you can get A-gap, a lot of times you can sack the quarterback before they can even hand or fake the ball off. So first and foremost, look to set up A-gap pressure. Later on, some tutorials and videos, we're going to be posting out exactly how to do that. But, I mean, look back on some of our posts from last year, anything like a 4-4, any type of pressure from 3-4 or bear. A-gap pressure contains on the outside, because with a waggle, what they're looking to really ultimately do is get outside of the pocket and roll out and roll to one side of the field. So if you're bringing A-gap pressure, if you're bringing A-gap pressure as well as containing the outside, you're really leaving them nowhere to go because they can't evade the pressure. Your second part of the question, Finn, how to defend a halfback screen. The best way to really defend the halfback screen would be to simply just user where the screen is. It's a lot of responsibility on yourself as a user, and you really need to trust yourself as a user. Otherwise, you're not going to ever get comfortable actually making these plays. So my suggestion to you is to fail, 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 fail until you fail no more. You can't learn where you're going unless you know where you've been. So if you practice a million times and fail a million times, on the millionth and one time, you are going to get it down and it'll click and you're going to see what I'm talking about. So get out there, go out, make some plays, and just make big plays. Always make big plays, win championships. That's what we want you to do. Alright, we're going to get to our last mailbag. And this is coming from Moving the Chains, and his question is, how do you revert back to your original play during the audible sequence? Great question by Moving the Chains, because this is actually something I struggled with right when I turned the game on. One thing I want to note before we answer that question is, great vocab, revert and sequence, I love it, gotta love it. Anyways, to audible back to your original play call in the audible sequence, you're going to be if you're playing on PS3, you're going to hit square, square, L2. So it feels awkward, it really does, but you're going to hit square, square, L2. Now, if you're on Xbox 360, you're going to hit XX, L trigger. For whatever reason, whenever you're doing audibles, such as a quick audible, so you're going to have to do, again, square, square, and then flick up, flick right, flick left, flick down to do your quick audibles. Same thing on Xbox. It's XX, flick left, and so on. It's really frustrating to see that's the way the game is. Fortunately, the patch will be coming out soon, and we'll be able to make that adjustment and not use that if we deem fit. Guys, great questions today. I think it was another great little daily show. Really, again, looking for all your feedback. We can only make this better unless we hear from you. And trust me, it will get better. Trust me on that. But again, I had a lot of fun today. Hope to hear a lot of feedback on the forums and emails. We got a ton today. I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of interaction today on Instant Messenger, email, everything. I really appreciate all the time you guys put into it. I love that you guys enjoy what we're doing, because I enjoy doing this for you. I'm Sgibs for MaddenBible.com. Again, www.maddenbible.com. I'm Sgibs. We'll see you tomorrow for show number 3 in the Mad Den.